Good morning. I am waiting for my um, meeting to start. So Denise will be joining in shortly. Um, the agenda for today is to just really catch up. Denise, like me, is an entrepreneur, and she is in the works of enhancing her business, which is the business of coaching, that involves healing work for her clients, which I think is fantastic. And that's something that my business is embarking in as well, trying to make sure that there is a dedicated line of service to provide my clients with a level of healing work that's needed when it comes to entering their space of operating and performing in. And when I speak of space, I'm really talking about the systems and structures that they find themselves entering in to really perform. The clients that I serve are clients who come from professional walks of life and also have a personal life like we all do. And what I have found over time in my almost 30 years of HR consulting, coaching, helping organizations within their own systems and structures, I've found that at the end of the day, it really boils down at how well we operate as human beings. And when I speak of how well we operate, it's really about our operating from our truth, from our ultimate truth of who we are, our core genius, our vitality, our wholeness, our talents. And often that gets muddled when we enter systems and structures that are so rigid that doesn't allow for us to be operating from our best self. We cling on to these external systems and structures, hoping and maybe not hoping, maybe just feeling comfortable with knowing that there is a guideline that's been imposed upon us. And then we wonder why, when we get so busy and stressed and overwhelmed, we wonder why. Most of the times it's because we're not operating from our true truths. And this is, the topic that I explore in great detail at a depth that I believe is, going to help individuals shift themselves from settling for what exists to always getting into the habit or feeling comfortable with embracing the habits that serve for something better. And it starts with the self, truly. We have, in this day and age, more than enough opportunity, information, collective consciousness that's starting to really, really grow and become more potent to rising to the occasion for promoting this increased level of awareness for a better way of taking care of ourselves, taking care of ourselves and relating with ourselves and also others because of that. So, the business that I have is really born from that inspiration to want to really make a difference. Where, what do you do now? You're rich with all of this information, new information. We know we want to make a change. Whether you're talking about the workspace or your personal life space, and oftentimes with the clients that I have who are in corporate employment or are in, an employment contract with an organizational structure, oftentimes they crave it, but they don't know it. The pains are the symptoms that they go through. And then this, it gets them into this rat race or down this rabbit hole of blaming and complaining that, my workplace is not enough. I'm just proposing that that is definitely in the muddle, and in the mix of the need for us to take a look at our systems and structures, and really to take a look at our systems and structures from within. What is really working for us? What is really our core truth when it comes to how we show up in all of these external environments? And how do we feel about it? That's what I address with most of my clients. And, even when it comes to me being assigned a project, the projects within organizations are often high change mandates. And, if I were to translate that down into a generality of lessons that I could help individuals with, life is really all about change and mandates, either imposed on us or um, we wish to have, getting us from a current state to a desired state. And why not put yourself at the forefront in making sure that you are able to be embraced for who you are, not an organization or an external system and structure that forces you to, assimilate. Why not put in your core truths? I believe that that is the renewed, the rethinking and the establishment of a new paradigm that can really help to heal the world. When we heal ourselves and we really truly know what to do with all these fantastic pieces of information that are out there that guide us, these are external tools for us and to increase our level of consciousness of the world around us. And if we gravitate to that, that's great. The next step to that is at a deeper level, and that is, what do you do with it, you personally, so that it can be personalized, so that this individuation really truly has its time and place where you can get good with practicing some inner habits that stick to success and authentically. Anyways, I'm blabbing on because I'm waiting for my participant here and she's not around. Okay, so I am waiting for her. I might have to cancel out. No, I'm gonna see. Good morning. I'm on Zoom. You ready? Oh, shoot. This is not. It's her time is 9. Okay, anyways, my mistake. We've got a time difference here. I'm glad that I did manage to have that recording anyways. I will finish off with this, but that is really what, so from a business structure, from my own business structure, that's what I'm trying to do, is organize it in such a way that it still paves way for my level of competencies that I can offer and my technical skills and wisdoms from the near 30 years of experience serving organizational clients and individuals in the general public sector when it comes to dealing with transitions imposed upon them, and even oftentimes when they impose it, it's largely because something has affected it from their environment. So the deeper level service that I would like, that I am and believe needs to be playing out a little bit more crisply and robust, as at the forefront, is not so much the technical skills that my clients have been traditionally used to, just get the job done. It doesn't really matter how it's going to get done. It just has to make sense that we can get the end result. And it's largely in terms of re-engaging or engaging for the first time a group of individuals for a common cause and a purpose, or a change mandate, which is the cause, but it is the start of further change and changed habits and behavior, which is really all about transformation, right? So the common theme that I've been seeing in the 30 years of my experience working with individuals through change mandates in large, complex systems and structures, I have found that it boils down to, how do we ready and prepare individuals? What is their role? How do they get good with the inner turmoil and chaos that's going on? Why they can't accept a particular conflict going on in their external environment? How they feel it imposing upon them before they're ready? That's the space in which I really truly believe I help individuals with. Because I am a firm believer that when you can capture one's true essence and they can figure it out, and it opens it from their mind, their heart, their spirit, their entire being, and the spaces in between, which is all on the internal side, then can we start to reunite or reconcile external with the internal first, versus we've got an external system and a structure. Let's not question it. Let's just keep going, keep going. But if it's not working, how have we readied ourselves from an internal structure? Because our internal structure comes from within us. And from within us is what we can control, really, so that we can affect external systems and structures to really make sure that the systems and the structures and processes and all of the external tools around us are serving our inner structure. And our inner structure is really where all of our gifts come from, that truly produces outcomes for better than what we have. I highlight this, and love is one example of that. We all have different meanings for what love means, partly because we've experienced it in many different ways because of our own unique individual experiences. And obviously, psychotherapists and the whole psychoanalysis industry tells us, and literature and research tells us that, it dates back to our childhood. How we've managed to define what love really truly means to us. And I'm very mindful of this topic because it's so rich with insights that I'd like to share just from my own personal experience, as well as my experience of witnessing in the help that I offer individuals, whether it's a formal client or a friend or a family member. There are some commonalities while we live in different boats, or we have different boats of the challenges we go through. The challenges, they don't really, there are some commonalities because we are human beings, and the human nature is what we need to fully embrace within us. And it's not just the positive side. It's the positive side and the side of us that we hide. In my I'm a lifelong learner when it comes to healing I believe that we could always be healing and rejuvenating and renewing and resetting to go back into our, true compass, which is from within. Um, the business, the primary business that we have when we operate and we choose to enter into any life space, call it work, society, community, family, friendships, these are systems. These are systems that have guidelines to preserve the kind of identity and the kind of norms or standards that, condition us to believing who we are. And when it is in conflict, we end up utilizing the measure stick of fitting in to external expectations as opposed to, influencing and learning. How do you actually influence? If you truly know that the best of you can serve the external, then why not flip it around so that you spend the time doing a lot of the work on the inner you and ensure that you're 1000% sure that you're always operating from your best. And your best isn't, by the way, always being happy and always being positive. Some of the inner work that I coach and support my clients on and doing their own work, because it really is a co-creation, and they've got to be a part of it. And part of their inner work that I help them with is really understanding that it isn't about always being happy and always showing positivity. There is always a positive, even in the negative. If you can master this thing I call illumination, we all have a source within us that is the spirit by which we operate at our highest self and our best self. And finding our way back to that is just oftentimes remembering it, as opposed to remembering and being influenced by the remembrances that caused you pain. If you were going to focus on the remembrances of what caused you pain so that it led you to not trusting in a particular situation, let's say, consciously or subconsciously, because that shows up all the time in our moments, doesn't it? Whenever a new situation comes up, then I would propose, and this is where I coach my clients on, in paying attention and learning the skill which is inherent within all of us, the skill of awareness. Be aware of certain situations and within yourself, like, why is this coming up for you? Because oftentimes it gives you a gift. The positive is the gift of a lesson that you can learn. And learning, by the way, isn't just saying, oh, I'm aware, I've learned. There is a proactive, an active, changed behavior demonstration that becomes very evident, and you need to seize it. That's where I help people on. I am going to pause right now and leave it at that. So there's going to be more crisp videos that I'm going to be working on, and it is going to entail some of the tools that help your inner tools, because it really isn't about an external thing where you have to gravitate to something external all the time. I mean, our COVID times have taught us that, just in the year 2020, which is where we are right now. These COVID times have really given us an opportunity for the lesson that we can no longer gravitate ourselves to external systems, external values and guidelines if we haven't done the work from within. The tools that we have from within us are the very tools that we have been craving for. And you know what? How do I know this? Because so many people in the working world, in the business environments, for instance, are really getting it and they're really understanding and or intrigued by this whole rise of the love revolution as an example. They're starting to talk about love in the workplace and compassion in the workplace. These are all words, but these are all powerful, potent tools that we have from within us. So the tools that we provide on the external, to capturing it as right for an organizational culture, for instance. So how does love get translated into the workplace? Yeah, sure, we're systemizing it because, we know from the fundamental 101s of what creates a community or a society or even a family, if you think about it, are guidelines, procedures, beliefs that guide us in terms of how we operate to preserve that group, that environment, or that sense of family or community or society or country or world, right? So that's something that we definitely take a look at and we must honor and respect. But, I'm proposing that that's all good because we all understand it theoretically. And some of us have internalized it to really truly believe that that's what you focus on. I'm proposing that you focus on how do you map yourself into that? And there are ways to do that. And it's unique to you. However, there are some certain commonalities from a system structure perspective that I truly believe I can help you in bridging where you are currently to where you want to be. That gap that you end up uncovering. And I talk about it in one of my modules of just really getting a good handle of whatever that bird's eye view is. I mean, one of the things that I've learned in the 30 years in corporate space is individuals need to see that bird's eye view, but then it needs to be distilled down to how they can map themselves and find, this is where I fit into this bird's eye view. It's the same thing when it comes to doing your inner work. So I do talk about the science and the art of how to figure it all out and connect the dots from within to outside for success authentically. The science part are all the things that we know have been tried and true, and a concept, a whole bunch of people have come together to prove that, you get this kind of an output. Like, I'll use an example. When you're in the workspace, you're taught that to achieve a goal for an organization, it must be SMART. That's an example of something that got picked up by an organization because it was a concept that got tried and tested over time with other organizations to say that, to achieve a goal, you got to set some objectives. It has to be specific, meaningful, attainable, results have to be, articulated, and it has to be timely and time-bound. Yeah, that's the science part. But the art to it is where you fit in. And that's what I explore. That's what I highlight at the bird's eye view level in my book, Love in the Highly Engaged Team. And that's where I deep dive in through with an individual through my coaching program. The deep dive of the art of being able to reconcile with all of these scientific formulas in your day-to-day, in the structures that you play in. Sounds a little bit heady, I know, but if this resonates a lot at all for you, would love an opportunity to explore this a little bit further in terms of how it actually can show up as resonating for your game-changing approach to authentic success on a sustainable level for the many different environments that are important to you. My email, contact me, if you'd like, is maria.nebres, Nebres, at factor of, factorof.com. Or check me out on my website, www.factorof.com. And let's see if we can work together for a co-creation that works for you. All right. Blessings and have a wonderful day. Bye.